On this video, we are going to see how to find the least common multiple between multiple numbers. To begin, we want to make sure that we understand what are multiples and prime numbers. Let's start with the first question. What is a multiple of a number? Okay, so the multiple of a number is the product of the number multiplied by a natural number, or what we also know as counting numbers, like 1, 2, 3, 4, and so on. Let's see an example. What are the multiples of 3? Okay, so multiples of 3 are 3, 6, 9, 12. Okay, we can find many more, but these are multiples of 3 because we can find them by multiplying 3 times another counting number. Now let's see what are common multiples. Common multiples are multiples that are shared by 2 or more numbers. Let's see an example. It says here that 20 is a common multiple of 5 and 10. That is because if you multiply 5 and 10 times another number, it can give you 20. In the case of 5, 5 times 4 gives you 20, and 10 times 2 also gives you 20. Now, what is the least common multiple? The least common multiple is the smallest multiple that is shared by 2 or more numbers. For example, let's see how to find the least common multiple of 2 and 9. One way to find it is to make a list of the multiples of each number. Let's start with the multiples of 2. The multiples of 2 are 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, and we can continue with more multiples. And then we can make a list of the multiples of 9. The multiples of 9 are 9, 18, 27, 36, 45, 54, and so on. Now we see that the multiples of 2 and the multiples of 9 have numbers in common, but the smallest one is 18. That's the smallest multiple that is shared by both of them. That means that the least common multiple of 2 and 9 is 18. This process can be very long when you have several numbers that you need to check if they have a common multiple, or if the numbers that you are calculating are very large. So we are going to see now another process to find this value. The method that we are going to use to find the least common multiple is by using prime factorization. To do that, we need to know what are the prime numbers. A prime number is a number that has no factors except 1 and itself. That means that those are the numbers that you can't find by multiplying any other two counting numbers except multiplying itself by number 1. There are many prime numbers, but the ones that we are mostly going to use for this method is the numbers between 1 and 20. And the prime numbers between 1 and 20 are 2, 3, 5, 7, 11, 13, 17, and 19. There are many, many more prime numbers. Between 1 and 100, we have 25 prime numbers. But the most common ones that we are going to be working with are the ones that we have here on the screen. In this first example, we are going to solve the same problem that we already answered by listing multiples, but now with the new method called factorization by primes. If you see on the right side of the screen, I already listed the prime numbers, so we can use them as a guide. Okay, I already wrote the prime numbers between 1 and 20 because they're the most common ones that we are going to use. To start, I'm going to write the two numbers that we are going to solve for the least common multiple in a table. So we have 2 and 9. We're going to write them next to each other in a table. And I'm going to start dividing both numbers by prime numbers. We are always going to start with the smallest prime number, which is number 2. So first we divide over 2. 2 over 2 is 1. 9 over 2 doesn't have an exact division, so we keep number 9. And continue with the next prime number, which is 3. Since 9 is divisible over 3, we're going to divide 9 over 3. gives us 3. Then we continue with dividing over 3. 3 over 3 gives us 1. We are going to finish factorization when we have in this side only number ones. And then to find the least common multiple, what we are going to do is we are going to multiply all the numbers, all the prime factors that we have on the right. In this case is 2 times 3 times 3. And 2 times 3 times 3 gives us 18, which is the same answer that we got in listing multiples. Okay, this method comes very in handy when we have larger numbers. Let's see another example. In this second example, we are going to find the least common multiple between 16 and 24. So let's repeat the steps. First, we are going to write both numbers in a table, 16 and 24. Now that we have a table, we are going to start dividing by primes, starting with the smallest one, which is number 2. Let's see if both numbers are divisible over 2. 16 over 2 gives us 8, so we write it beneath the 16. Now 24 over 2 gives us 12, we write it beneath the 24. We check if we can divide again over 2. 18 over 2 gives us, 8 over 2 gives us 4. 12 over 2 gives us 6. We continue using number 2. 4 over 2 gives us 2. 6 over 2 is 3. We can still continue using number 2. 2 over 2 is 1. So we are done with the list beneath 16, but 3 can't be divided over 2. That means that we are going to keep number 3. And now 3 is not divisible over 2, so I continue with the next prime number, which is 3. And 3 over 3 is 1. Okay, so we are done factoring. And now to find the least common multiple between 16 and 24, we are going to multiply the numbers that we have on the right side, which is 1, 2, 3. We have 4 number 2s, 2 times 2 times 2 times 2 times 3. Okay, so the least common multiple between 16 and 24 is going to give us 48. Okay, so this is finding the least common multiple between two numbers by prime factorization. Let's see a third example. In this third example, we are going to find the least common multiple between three numbers now. We have 8, 10, and 12. Okay, the process that we are going to follow to find the least common multiple is exactly the same as the one we used when we were finding for only two numbers. The first thing, we are going to write the three numbers in a table. We have 8, 10, and 12. Okay, we write them in a table just like we did before. And we start dividing by primes, starting with the smallest one, which is number 2. 8 over 2 gives us 4. 10 over 2 is 5. 12 over 2 is 6. We continue dividing over the smallest prime. 4 over 2 is 2. Now 5 can't be divided over 2. That means that we are going to keep the number. We keep number 5. And 6 over 2 is 3. Okay, even though I know that 5 and 3 are not going to be divisible over 2, number 2 itself is still divisible over 2. So I continue with that number. 2 over 2 is 1. And now since 5 and 3 can't be divided over 2, I keep the numbers 5 and 3. Okay, I'm done working with the number 2, so I go with the next prime, which is number 3. 5 can't be divided over 3, so I'm going to keep the number. But 3 over 3 is 1. Okay, so now the next prime number that I can use is number 5. 5 over 5 is 1. Now that I only have number 1s in the lists on the left, it means that I am done factoring. Now to find the least common multiple of 8, 10, and 12, I have to multiply all of the factors that I found on the right. That means that I need to multiply 2, times 2 times 2 times 3 times 5. Okay, now I solve the multiplication and it gives me its common multiple is 120. Okay, if you see, the process is the same as before. Okay, so I hope that this topic is clear and thank you for watching this video.